So today, on Sunday, I want to talk to you about be radical, don't conform. Be radical, don't conform. And I want to show you this, that in the Bible says in Romans 12, verse 2, it says, be not conformed to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So Paul gives us a warning that people tend to conform. Now, why is this? Why is this? Because from the beginning, God gave mankind a mind, right? The mind is simply an organ. That's all your mind is. It's an organ. And the organ, the mind, is designed to keep you in survival mode. It's programmed only for survival, only just to help you get by. Your spirit has always been designed by God to help you to thrive in life. Your spirit is where your imagination dwells, the ability to see into the future, divine possibilities of not what is, but what can be. Your creative processes of God, the ability to innovate, to transform your life into what you want it to be based on your heart's desires. And who put those desires there? God. God put the desire. The word desire is the heart of God. God put those desires inside of you. And some of you are looking outside. You're like trying to say, well, God, I'm just waiting for like you to tell me what to do. Or you got like super spiritual people. God, I'm waiting for some prophet to come say, yea, thus saith the Lord. Yea, you shall go left and not right, and forward and not backwards. You're waiting. You're waiting for somebody outside to show you the way. When really, you chart your course by the desires of your heart, and you begin to mature, and you realize that God designed you and engineered you and put those dream seeds of those desires inside of you. And you begin to chart your course by the desires of your heart. But what happens? People live out of their mind, their organ, not their spirit. The spirit is where all of this is seated in your spirit, not your mind. So the mind is designed just to keep you alive. Now think about this. Every animal has a mind, has an organ of a mind. What is the purpose of the mind in every animal? Survival. A hunter's coming. Run! I gotta eat. Let's go kill a gazelle. Gotta eat. Water. I need water. Let's go get some water. I need protection. Let's go get a cave. Let's go get in a cave. Survival. And then, I want you to watch this. So because we're designed for survival, mankind tends to look and to see what everybody else is doing. What are the 95% of people in the world doing? And I am going, because I want to survive, I look and see what they're doing, and I'm going to do the same thing. So as a child, right, we look and we see what our parents are doing, and we observe what they're doing. We buy into their belief systems. We take on their behaviors. We take on their habits. And therefore, we model what we've been raised in. Most people simply are repeating the same things their parents did. And therefore, they get the same results. Why? Because you conformed to your upbringing, and you're just on repeat, doing the same thing that they did. Now, some of you read the Bible, and some preachers, they talk about the generational curse as like there's this mystical thing that's all spiritual, that like there's this spirit, like these demons go from one person to the next person to the next generation to the next, and they call it a generational curse. I don't believe that. I believe it's generational modeling. I believe that most of it, when you really look at how it works in the real world, that simply most people live in their mind of survival. They see what their parents do and they model it. And because the parents have conformed to 95% of the world, which are people who just want to survive. That means the word survive means you're just not dead yet. You're existing. But you're not living this abundant life. You're not thriving. And so most people, they see what they do. Then they look at their friends. They look at their family. They look at their teachers at school. They look at the preachers. They observe what's going on. 95% of the world, they observe what's going on, and they conform. That's the industrial age. The industrial age, we can see this. What, right? The industrial age. Go get a job. Go to the factory and get a job. That's the industrial age. And so what do you got? You got people going to their job, and you got a big line waiting to check in, punch the time clock at 8 o'clock, and everybody's dressed the same way. They got the same clothes on, right? They got their little work clothes. Everybody looks the same, in file, in line, and they got their black lunchbox. And everybody's got, the guy in front of them's got a black lunchbox, the guy behind him, and the guy behind him's got a black lunchbox, taking his lunch to work. Then they went from black lunch boxes to brown paper bags. Now everybody's got their brown paper bags. Everybody's lined up in the industrial age, punch the time clock, 9 to 5. They're living Monday through Friday in misery so they can enjoy Saturday and Sunday. They live for the weekend. That's no way to live. That's conforming. Humans conform because they look out here. But there's this other group of people which I believe you're part of. If you're listening to me, if you're listening to something so crazy called wealthy church, I get calls, a lot of guys just say, "You're so hilarious, man." It's like, you just throw it out there, man. Wealthy church. That's pretty radical, right? But if you're not radical, you're invisible. If you're not radical, you're invisible. It's like recently the queen died, right? And Queen Elizabeth, and she was asked, she said, "Why do you wear those bright colored dresses and hats?" And she said something really profound that I thought was really cool. She said, "A queen needs to be seen." What was she saying? I'm a bit radical. When everybody else wears beige, and beige is their favorite color, I'm going to stand out. Then she said something else really cool. They says, "Well, why are you always out in the public?" And she said, "Well, a queen needs to be seen in order to be believed." Wow, some profound, simple, but profound things. The queen was a bit of a radical. And see, that's the message today. You don't want to conform. You want to be the Radical. What are the radicals? The radicals are the 5%. The 95% are the people who are miserable, the people who are broke, people who are frustrated in life, people who aren't fully alive in life. They're just going through the motions. And they die, never fulfilling their God-given purpose. As Miles Monroe said years ago, greatness is in the graveyards of the world. People who God called to do big things, but took that greatness to the grave and never manifested it. Why? Because the greatest enemy to man is conformity. Conformity is the greatest enemy to man. When God is a creator, God is innovative. You can't put God in a little box. And the very word radical, I looked it up this morning. It says departing from tradition. I love that, don't you? I love that, don't you? That's why people are leaving the church by the thousands. Because it's just tradition. It's just blah. It's bland. It's beige. And you can add some lights to it. And you can add some smoke to it. But it's all the blah, blah, blah. It's just repeating a blah, 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 trying to add fancy lights and smoke. Tradition. And it lacks innovative. It's when you're radical, you got to innovate. You're beyond just the mentality, right, of I'm going to be like everybody else. When you're radical, you create stuff. You innovate stuff that's never been done. You break tradition and say, wait a minute, can't this be done better? Can't this be done faster? Can't this be done bigger? I'm innovating. I got to innovate. I don't want to be over here. If you want to succeed in life, here's a key rule. Look what everybody else is doing and don't do it. Radical means unorthodox, doing things in an unorthodox way. Ain't nothing orthodox about wealthy church. The very name. It either causes people to turn it on or turn it off. And I guarantee you, I got people out there, talking behind my back, murmuring behind my back, saying, isn't that ridiculous, and blah, blah, blah. But that's good, because if you're a radical, you won't be loved by everybody. There's a certain group of people who will love you, though. Right? Jesus was a radical. He wasn't a conformist. He didn't conform. That's why he was able to transform people's lives. Conforming changes nothing and no one. Repeating religion doesn't change and transform anything. That's why really, the world isn't really changed. I hate to say this. The world isn't really changed by preachers. The world is changed by entrepreneurs. I hate to say that, but it's true. When you look at the history of the world, it's not the preachers. It's the innovators. It's the entrepreneurs who are advancing society and creating new things that are apart from the orthodox of what's been done forever and ever. Elon Musk is a radical. He's a radical. Hey, let's have electric cars. We can do this. And he's brought change to a whole thought pattern of what's possible. And he innovated and created. See, that's the way believers are supposed to be. Why isn't a strong person who's, quote, full of the Spirit of God, the Spirit of God, the creator of creators, Why aren't we out there innovating? Why weren't we the first to the mat on creating electric cars? Because we're not hearing stuff like this. That's why. We're hearing conformity messages. Conform to the little church. Go to church. Go to church. Sing 3 songs. Give the offering. Hear a sermon. Go home. Pray every day. Read the Bible every day. But don't be radical. And be quiet. Don't say nothing. No, that's not how we're supposed to live. Jesus didn't live that way. I'm just looking for some radicals. Is there any radicals out there? Is there any radical? Jesus was not a conformist. He didn't conform to what everybody else was doing. Oh, no, sir. No, sir. He was always attacked by his haters. I like what T.D. Jakes said. He says, I don't have any haters who are doing better than me. Oh, I love that. I love that. The people who are going to hate on you are the people who are doing less than you. They're the ones that are going to hate on you. People who are more successful than you, they're not going to hate on you. I found that so true in my life. So true in my life. But his haters, Jesus had haters. What's a sign that you're a radical? You're going to have haters. What do we know? They said, oh, how dare he heal on the Sabbath? How dare he? Oh, that's blasphemy. That's ridiculous. I mean, are you like listening to yourself? It's like conformists. When you buy into conformity of the masses, you don't even listen to what you're saying. Religion and tradition plugs your ears to what the creative power of the voice of God is saying in your life. Because you're living out of your mind, which is survival, not your spirit, which is thriving, which is creativity, which is getting outside of your little box and coloring outside the lines and breaking tradition and religion. That's where God is, not inside your little box. They condemned him and hated him because of what he did. You didn't do it like we do it. We don't heal on the Sabbath. Well, shows you how far away your heart is from God. No compassion. He eats with sinners. Oh, can you believe this guy? They condemned him for who he hung out with. Oh, look at that. I wonder if that judgment could be nailed on you, that you hang out with sinners. Why? Because you're trying to win them. You're trying to be used by God to transform their lives. Bonnie and I, we live by this rule. You first make a friend. You make a friend. You be a friend. Then you lead a friend to Christ. People want to just preach Jesus. No. Let's go backwards and let's just make a friend first with a sinner. Be their friends. You want to make a difference? Be a friend first. What does that mean? That means you don't throw a javelin at them and condemn them first. You sit down with them. You get to know them while they're drinking their alcohol, while they're smoking their cigarette and blowing it in your face. See, some of you are too religious to do that. I'm not. Drink your bourbon. Smoke your cigar. I'm all right with that. I ain't doing it. No. I don't play with rattlesnakes. You go ahead, and we can have a conversation. We can get to know one another. I've done this over and over and over throughout all my life. It's radical. Whoa. What if some of what's on him gets on me? Wow, you got a weak God living inside of you. You got a really, man, I feel sorry. You claim to have Holy Ghost power. I got power. Wow. But I can't hang out with sinners. I can't hang out with you because you smoke a cigar or you smoke marijuana. Oh, that's not much power, my friend. What else did they say? They said, man, he speaks the words he says. Blasphemy. He speaks. He said, how dare him? He said he's a son of God. How dare him? How dare him? Said he. That means he's like God. How dare him? Of course, Jesus says, didn't you read in the Old Testament that we are like gods in the earth? We're not supposed to be the big G, but we are the little g. Wow. Jesus has a positive self-image of himself. Oh, don't have that. See yourself as a worm in the dirt. That's what the majority of people do. And so we begin to see that conforming is survival living. But what do successful people do? People who really want to make a difference. What do? They are the radicals. They look at what's being said. They look at the thoughts that people are thinking. They look at the words, the thoughts, the actions of the 95%. And you know what? Guess what the 5% do? They do the exact opposite. They don't conform. They do the exact opposite because they've got guts to not get in the line, carry their little black lunch pail, punch the 9 to 5 clock. That's the entrepreneurs. That's the innovators. That's the creators. That's where God's people should be. Romans 12:2, be not conformed to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Hope you've enjoyed this today. I want you just to stand with me and get in agreement with heaven. Get into agreement. I am not going to conform. I'm going to allow this message to affirm my difference. It's why some of you get so frustrated at things. Because you're called to make a difference. You can't make a difference if you are the same like everybody else. And some of you out there, it's like you feel like a square peg trying to fit in a round hole called the religious church. The religion, trying to fit in religion. That's the problem. You're trying to fit in religion. And you're like, you try and you try and you try, and it feels like you hit your head up against the wall. If that's you, listen, you're coming to the right place. That's why I designed Wealthy Church. It's for people like you that say, man, I don't have to have that. That's why it's Wealthy Church. That's why we're online. That's why we're different. You can come and set, learn and grow. And we together can build a movement that takes people who want to be different and have a place where you find acceptance and love and support, because you want to be outside of the box. You don't want to be inside the box. You want to color outside the lines, not inside the lines. That's what Wealthy Church is all about. I'm glad you're here. Listen, hey, don't forget, if you're joining us here today, don't forget to pick up my new book if you haven't yet. Hey, we're taking down this website, financialfasttrack.com. We're taking down that website. Financial Fast Track, how to experience abundance, accelerate results, eliminate bad debt. Go to financialfasttrack.com. All of those of you who are part of this movement, listen, go get your free book. Hey, we bought the book for you. You just pay shipping and handling. We'll send that out to you, get that out to you right away. Hey, this book is full. You've been conditioned to think like the 95% about your money. Even Christian financial gurus teach you the 95% way. But listen, we're following. The strategies in this book are for the 5%ers. The 5%ers who are more than just millionaires. We don't want to model millionaires. We want to model billionaires. What are people who are at 100 million? What are people who are at $1 billion? How are they thinking? What are they doing? That's the people we want to model. So go to financialfasttrack.com, get your free book. And if you want to support and get behind Wealthy Church, here's where you give. You just go to wealthychurch.com. And you can give a one-time gift, or you can pledge for every month. Monthly gifts mean so much to us. They really, really, really do. We're believing God for 300 people to support us on a monthly basis. And thank you, all of those of you who are out there who do support us. Man, it means so much to us. We are believing, we are praying that God will increase you and bless you. You go to Cash App at Dr. Keith Johnson, or PayPal/Confidence if you want to go there, or you can call 352-597-8775. I believe that when you sow seed, the seasons of your life begin to shift and begin to change. A season of sowing nothing produces another season of reaping nothing. And if there's ever a time where you need to sow, it's in famine. Isaac sowed in difficult times. And in the same year, the Bible says, he reaped 100-fold. Don't shrink back on your giving. No. Don't shrink back on your giving. So, God bless you. Thank you for joining. Hey, tell us down below what you enjoyed in this. DM me if you have any prayer requests. We'll pray for you. My wife and I will believe God for you. It's good to have you. Please like, please share. And we'll see you next Sunday for Wealthy Church. God bless everybody. God bless everybody.